Welcome back to the Whisper Knows. This is the place where stories don't scream, they whisper. Not because they're quiet, but because they're personal. Tonight's question is simple, and once you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it. What if it's true that your reflection moves before you do? Not in movies, not in dreams, but right now, in your own home, in the glass you pass every day without thinking. What if mirrors aren't copying you, but following you? You've trusted mirrors your entire life. They help you get dressed. They confirm that you're still you. They reassure you that reality is behaving the way it should. You don't question them. You glance, adjust, move on. Because mirrors are supposed to be passive, lifeless, obedient. They only exist when you stand in front of them. Or at least, that's what you were taught. Almost everyone has experienced it once. That brief moment when something feels off. You move your hand, and for just a fraction of a second, your reflection doesn't. It's subtle, easy to dismiss. Your brain corrects it instantly. A delay, a trick of light, fatigue. You don't stop walking. You don't turn back. Because if you did, you might notice something you weren't meant to. There are rules no one writes down. Don't stare at mirrors too long in the dark. Don't place one facing your bed. Don't cover every mirror in a room at the same time. And most importantly, don't test them. Because mirrors respond differently when they know they're being watched intentionally. Night changes mirrors. During the day, reflections feel flat, predictable. At night, they gain depth. Dark rooms create infinite space behind the glass. Shadows don't behave the same way. Your reflection feels farther away, like it's standing in another room, a room that looks exactly like yours, but isn't. The second time it happens, you notice. You're brushing your teeth, washing your face, passing a mirror in the hallway. You pause, and your reflection pauses too. But not because you paused. It stops a heartbeat earlier. Just enough for your stomach to tighten. Just enough for doubt to creep in. You stare, and your reflection stares back, unblinking. Eye contact changes everything. When you look into your own eyes in a mirror, something strange happens. Your face stops feeling like a surface. It becomes a presence. You start noticing details you usually ignore, micro-expressions, tiny movements, and sometimes expressions you didn't make. A smile that lingers too long, a blink that comes late, an emotion you don't feel, yet it's there, on your face. Once you notice the delay, it grows harder to ignore. Your reflection starts anticipating you, turning its head before you do, raising an eyebrow a second early, straightening posture as if preparing. You tell yourself it's impossible. Mirrors don't predict, they repeat. But the reflection doesn't seem surprised by your movements. It seems familiar with them. Everyone tries it eventually. A test. You stand still, perfectly still, holding your breath, muscles tense, and you watch. At first, nothing happens. Then, your reflection exhales. Your body reacts before your mind does. Heart racing, skin prickling, a deep, instinctive fear. You step back. Your reflection doesn't. It remains close to the glass, watching, studying you the way you just studied it. That's when the thought forms, uninvited and terrifying. What if it doesn't need me anymore? Across cultures, mirrors were never just tools. They were covered during death, hidden during rituals, avoided during childbirth and sickness. People believed reflections were fragile things, easily displaced, easily replaced. Modern life taught us to forget that, but mirrors remember. It happens late, always late, when the house is quiet, when your thoughts slow down. You pass a mirror without looking, and it smiles. You see it from the corner of your eye, a movement that shouldn't exist. When you turn back, your reflection is neutral again, but the feeling doesn't leave, because something did smile. And it wasn't you. From that night on, the reflection feels more awake than you. It reacts faster, holds expressions longer, feels present. You start avoiding mirrors, covering them, turning them toward walls. But reflections don't need mirrors to exist. They just need access. You dream of standing in front of a mirror, only this time the glass is gone. You're face to face with yourself, and your reflection steps forward. You wake up shaking because when you looked in the mirror that morning, your reflection looked tired, like it hadn't slept. At what point does a reflection stop being yours? When it moves first? When it acts independently? When it remembers things you don't? Or when it starts wondering what it would be like to live without the glass? One night, you test it one last time. You raise your hand. Your reflection raises its hand first. And this time, it doesn't lower it. You step away. It stays, still standing there, waiting. Because reflections don't disappear when you leave. They wait for their turn. So tonight, when you walk past a mirror, slow down. Pay attention. If your reflection moves a little too soon, don't panic. Just remember, it's been watching you practice being human for your entire life. This has been The Whisper Knows. And if your reflection ever moves before you do, maybe it's not copying you anymore. Maybe it's preparing. Good night. Subscribe if you dare to listen.